Welcome. We'll begin class today, as we always do, coming into our breath. Coming into that centering breath. Bring the hands to the thighs to start. And we'll find the sit bones. So finding that nice comfortable seat. We'll be taking those circles, feeling that nice tall spine. Belly pulls in gently. Circling the other direction. And we'll settle into that comfortable seat. Maybe the eyes are closed. Maybe the hands stay on the thighs. Maybe we bring them into prayer. And bring the thumbs to the sternum. We'll slightly draw the chin in towards the throat. Closing the eyes. And breathing. So we'll begin by just noticing the breath. Feeling the breath come in through the nose. And out through the nose, washing over the body, washing over the hands. Just feel it. Continue with a few breaths, just like that, in through the nose. Fill the belly, fill the lungs. And exhaling through the nose, just gently and slowly and controlled. So beginning to develop that rhythm of the breath that will guide us through our class, following the movements and the breaths in unison. So let's begin to make that breath a little more dynamic, breathing in through the nose, filling the belly and the lungs. Open the mouth and exhale. Again, like that. Deep inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and release. 2 more times like that. Deep breath in. And then release. Last time. Deep, full breath in through the nose. Expand the rib cage, expand the belly. Open the mouth, slow, controlled exhale. Bring the hands down to the thighs if they're not there already. Feel free to keep the eyes closed or maybe blink them open if that's more comfortable for you. And we'll begin with some neck stretches. So we'll drop the chin down towards the throat. Maintain that nice tall spine. So the belly pulls in towards the back body. The spine is nice and tall. We'll just soften the chin down towards the chest, feeling that openness at the back of the neck. And take a breath. Deep breath in. And exhale. For this next inhale, we'll roll the right ear towards the right shoulder. Just softening that ear to shoulder. And then roll the chin down towards center. And bring that left ear to that left shoulder. One more time like that. Draw the chin down, this little semicircle, almost crescent-like move of the neck. Right ear to right shoulder. And then we'll roll that chin down through center. Over towards that left ear. And then we'll bring the chin back down through center. And lift the chin up towards the midline, coming back to that nice neutral position. This time we'll reach the arms down towards the floor. And again, always get that energy through the hands and really spread the fingers like you're reaching for something that's just out of your grasp. The belly is still pulling in, a nice tall spine. And we'll drop that right ear to right shoulder this way. So a little bit more active of a stretch for the neck here. Deep breath in. And as we exhale, we'll gaze down towards that right shoulder, down towards the floor. Inhale, bring the chin of the neck back up to neutral. Back upright. Exhale, that left ear to left shoulder. And then gaze down towards the floor, over that left shoulder. Bring that gaze back up through center. Bring the head back up through neutral. And we'll relax the arms and take some shoulder rolls. Bring the hands to the thighs. And just gently drawing one shoulder up towards the ear. Draw it back. And then slide that shoulder down. So we're just creating some space here. Creating some movement of that back body. Moving the scapula around. Freeing up the muscles around the chest. And the whole shoulder complex. So just make it nice and slow and really controlled movements. And just begin to feel the opening there. You might feel a little snap, crackle, pop. That's normal. That's okay. As long as nothing hurts, we're just introducing some movement to the body. One more like this. Some nice big shoulder rolls. And then we'll come back into this neutral position and bring the hands on the thighs. And we'll take some cat-cows here. So take a deep breath in. Slide the hands towards the waist and draw the shoulder blades together. And then exhale, we'll slide the hands down the legs and pull the belly in towards the back body, arching the back. Gently tuck the chin in towards the throat. And then inhale, slide the hands back towards the body. Draw the shoulder blades together, squeeze them together. Exhale, sliding the hands forward, belly pulls towards the back body. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, crown of the head, lifting up, shoulder blades glide together, chest moving forward. And then exhale. Pull the belly and the ribs in towards the back body. Get that nice cat-like arch, chin tucks. And then we'll come back up through neutral. And we'll take some circles of the torso. You might want to walk the feet a little bit wider. And just bringing the torso around. So inhale as the body comes back through upright. Exhale as the body circles forward. And then inhale through center. So remember that analogy of that pot, of the wooden spoon stirring in the pot, right? So the crown of the head, the top of the head, all the way down through the sit bones, through the tailbone, right at the base of the spine, is straight. You want that to be your wooden spoon. So you're just rotating at the hips here. Rotating at the torso, bringing some movement and some openness into the spine. And as we do these circles, we don't want to lift the chin and gaze forward as we're moving. We want to keep the neck out of it. So keep the chin slightly tucked. And think of that crown of the head and that tailbone in that one straight line. Imagine you had a steel rod down the spine. Keeping it nice and straight. Last time through here. Coming back up through center. And we'll come back through this neutral position here. And we'll take a few more of those shoulder rolls here. But this time we'll bring the fingers to the heads of the shoulders. And just take those little back strokes here. We're just opening up here. Keep the belly gently pulling in. That nice tall spine. Imagine still thinking of that string at the top of the head, pulling the crown of the head nice and tall, spine is nice and long. One more time here. Gently exhale. And we'll release the hands down here. We'll walk the legs a little bit wider here. And we'll take those cat-cows with the wider leg here. So inhale, crown of the head, lifting high, chest moving forward as the hands slide back. And then exhale. Pull the belly in. We'll get more of that cat-like arch because the legs are a little wider. Tuck the chin. Inhale, draw those hands back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Chest moves forward. Exhale, arching that back, pulling the belly in towards the spine. And then one more time here. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades together. Chest moves forward. Exhale. Slide those hands forward, pull the belly and ribs in, slightly tuck that chin, and then we'll come back up through center. Now we'll take those torso rolls, but we'll add some dips of the shoulder here. So as we move forward, that right shoulder will dip down, so we're getting some spinal movement here. And then drop that left shoulder in, and then we'll come back through center. So exhale as we come down through center, right shoulder dips. Chest becomes parallel with the floor, then that left shoulder dips. Then we come back through center. One more time in this direction. That right shoulder dips down. Try to keep that chin slightly tucked. Left shoulder dips down. And then we come back up through center. And then we'll change directions. So that left shoulder will dip down. Pull that belly in towards the back body. That right shoulder dips down. We'll come back up through center. Two more times in this direction. Exhale as we draw that left shoulder down. Chest becomes parallel. Right shoulder dips. Coming back. Last time. Exhale as we come forward. Chest parallel. Right shoulder dips. And then we'll come back up through center. And we'll come into this neutral position here. So we're going to take the arms out in this goal-posted position here. So we're just going to take that same feeling of that rotation of the spine, but this time we're going to keep the belly pulled in and just moving side to side. So squeeze the belly in towards the spine and just getting this rotation at the spine here. And the arms are just going along for the ride. Remember that analogy of like a sign on a post, right? So the spinning is happening right at the post. The arms are just going along for the ride. So we're just moving the spine in this rotational way, just getting some lubrication in there. Last time. And then we'll come back through center. Take a few shoulder rolls here. We're going to heel toe the feet in towards center and grab that block. If you have a block, wonderful. If not, not a big deal. But if you do have the block, we're going to place it either the skinniest way or the medium way in between the thighs. So you don't want it in between the knees. You want it in between the thighs so that you can squeeze in on the block and help to keep that belly pulled in a little bit more. So we're going to take a few forward folds here, but we're going to use this block as a tactile cue to really keep the belly pulled in, wrap the thighs around the block, and squeeze the glutes. So we're going to take the hands and bring them on the back of the buttocks. So it will look like this. You're just basically sitting on the hand. That belly is nice and long, or nice and tight and pulled in, and that spine is nice and long. So we're going to take a deep breath in. Exhale, hinging forward. That same analogy, that nice tall spine, that wooden spoon. Now squeeze the glutes, squeeze the block, and push into the floor to lift you up. So you should feel that those glutes active. You should feel that activity in the feet. We'll just do that 2 more times. So exhale as we hinge forward. Keep that chin slightly tucked. Press the feet into the floor, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the block, and pull the belly in towards the spine as you lift up. Really squeeze those glutes. We're going to just do that 1 more time. So exhale, hinging forward. Pull the belly in. Now push into the floor, squeeze the glutes, squeeze that block to lift you up. And then we'll release. We'll take that block out from between the thighs. And just shake out the legs here. Just a few moments here. And then we will come into a little bit more of this using of the block here. We're going to place it back between the thighs, either the medium way or the skinny way. And we're going to bring those arms into that goal post again this time. We'll take a few of those twists here. So having the block in between the thighs just is a nice way to keep the pelvis nice and level, to keep that low back safe from twisting too much. And another, again, a nice tactile cue to keep the belly pulling in, to keep the belly pulling towards the spine. It's called the co-contracted middle. So you're pulling the belly in, the back is pulling in towards that as well. So everything is like a waffle iron, right? You want to keep that whole core nice and contained, nice and activated, and nice and strong. So we'll do this 1 more time, and we'll end twisting towards the right. So we're in this twist here, and then take that left hand and just bring it to the outside of that thigh. And maybe reach that back hand towards the back wall. The palm is facing away from you. A nice big spinal twist here. Bring the belly in. Exhale. One more time. Deep breath in. And exhale. We'll slide that arm down. Take a few shoulder rolls. And then we'll bring those arms back into that goal post. Remember that feeling of just locking the shoulder blades down the back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together slightly, but pull the belly in towards the spine. You should feel those sit bones pressing into the chair. We'll just take a few rotations here. Two more times. And then we'll end twisting towards the left this time. We'll take that hand, the front hand, and just bring it to the outside of that thigh. And then reach that other hand back. Hold the belly in, crown of the head reaching tall. You should feel a nice twist in that spine, especially between the shoulder blade area. Maybe gaze back over that back hand, so towards that back hand, that nice big spinal twist here. Exhale, and we'll slide that arm down. Just take a few of those shoulder rolls here. And then we'll take that block out from between the thighs. Feel free to just kind of windshield wiper the legs, just loosen them up a little. And we'll bring that block in between the hands. So we're not going to use the block too much today, but we're going to use it to its advantage and to help us gain some mobility in the spine and in the upper back, and help with our posture and help with that pulling in and activating that core so that we can keep that low back nice and safe. So take the block in between the hands like you were pressing it. Don't grip it, so don't use the fingers. Just press it between the palms and gently pushing it together. You should feel the chest muscles activate. You can keep the elbows a little bit soft to start. Take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to extend the block in front of us. And then see if you can reach it even a little bit further. Not arching the back, but just reaching it, and then maybe those shoulder blades move away a little bit more. And we lift those arms up just a little bit. As far as they will go. They may not go far. That's okay. And then we'll bring them down and draw the block in towards the chest. So we'll bend the elbows to give the shoulders a little bit of a break. We're just going to do that 2 more times. So as we extend those hands forward, gently press the block together so you feel that chest activate and pull the belly in towards the spine. Exhale, and we'll extend those arms even a little bit further, but we're not leaning forward. Keep the chin tucked in towards the throat, not lifted. As we lift those arms up, continue to gently press into that block. Maybe those arms come a little higher, maybe they don't. Bring those arms forward. And we'll draw that block in towards the chest. Even here, gently squeeze the shoulder blades together, so you're keeping that activity in the back body. One more time, gently press the block together with the hands as we extend those arms straight. Keep that belly pulling in. Reach those arms a little bit further forward. Keep that chin tucked in as we lift those arms up as high as you can without pinching or pain. This is about as high as mine go. And then we'll bring those arms down. Draw the block in towards the chest. And keeping the block here at the chest. And we'll take a few of those little spinal twists here. So push the block together like you're squeezing it together. Keep that chest activated. We'll just take a few of these little spinal rotations here. Should feel pretty good. One more time each side. And then we'll come back through center. You can place the block down. We'll just roll out the shoulders here. So we got the spine nice and mobile. We mobilize the shoulder blades. And we'll take a moment here to come into our eagle arm stretch. So make sure the feet are firmly rooted. You don't want them tucked up underneath the chair. You want to have a nice firm supported base. And then we'll bring the arms down by the side. Again, maybe just that little bit of a shoulder roll. Then we'll bring the arms in front of us and take that left hand across the chest, and that right hand, right arm underneath, and bring that elbow up and under. You're just hooking that arm with the elbow of the other arm and just gently squeezing that arm in towards you. Maybe moving it away towards the right. You should feel a big stretch on the outside of that left shoulder. I'm actually not mirroring you here, so you'll be in the opposite direction, or just use your right hand. And then if you are able to come into that eagle bind, we'll bend that top elbow, and maybe the backs of the palms come together. Maybe the front of the palms can come towards one another. And we'll pull the belly in towards the spine, and maybe those elbows over towards the side a little bit. One more big breath there. And then exhale, we'll release. Whew. Big stretch there. And then we'll do the other side. So we'll reach the arms forward. This time that right arm will come across, and we'll take that left arm underneath. If the elbow can come to the elbow, that's fine. If it's on the forearm, that's fine, wherever it reaches. Shoulder mobility is very fickle. A lot of people have issues on one side and not the other, or just a much smaller range of motion. Nothing wrong with that. We're just working to our abilities and maybe gaining a little bit more range of motion with these stretches that we're doing. So just gently hugging that arm in towards the body, using that bent arm and the bicep there to just gently hug that extended arm towards you. And then maybe coming into that eagle bind. So maybe just the backs of the palms come together. Maybe you can wrap them around and the fronts of the palms come towards one another. And that will allow those elbows to slide a little bit closer together. Pull the belly in. Feel that stretch at the back of the body, top of the back. Maybe that forehead drops slightly. Deep breath. And exhale. We'll release those arms. And then we'll come into some lower body stretches here. So feel free to sit the butt a little bit further towards the edge of the chair. If you're sitting back too far, you're not going to get much range of motion. So I like to come where the sit bones are definitely on the chair, but most of the thigh is coming off of the chair. And then we'll bring the hands to the hips and start with our marches. So again, you always have the option of the hands on the chair, hands on the hips, bring the belly in. You can even bring the hands on the thighs and add a little resistance. That's a little bit more challenging of a move. So let's just start with the hands on the hips and we'll take it from there. So we'll just bring one knee up and then the other. So we're just marching the feet here. But what I want you to focus on is the sit bones, that base of the spine, base of the pelvis, pressing into the floor. Crown of the head is still reaching high, and we're pulling the belly in towards the spine. So believe it or not, this is actually core work in addition to working the legs and the thighs and the hips, right? So pull, feel that, get that feeling of pulling from that low belly to lift that leg. If it's too much with the hands on the hips, bring the hands down onto the thighs. You can always even have one hand on the thigh and help each thigh as it lifts. Whichever works best for you is what you should be doing. So we'll just do that a few more times. Keep that belly point in. Last time on each leg. And then we'll take that right leg and add our hip circles. So again here, feel free to use the hands on the thigh to circle it around. Maybe the foot touches down and releases, and then we lift it back up again. Maybe you keep that foot hovering and it doesn't touch the floor. Maybe you have the hands on the hips here. Way more challenging. We're just going to change directions now, so whichever one you are doing is fine. Focus on pulling that belly in. We're just going to do one more rotation in this direction. And then we're going to allow the outer edge of that foot to come down to the floor and allow that thigh to open up towards the side. So letting gravity open up that hip and using that hand to just gently massage the flesh of that thigh away from the hip, so away from the belly, to open up that hip. You can stay here. Maybe that foot crosses over the other ankle, and that allows gravity to work a little bit more, and allows that hip to open even more. Maybe you take that ankle and you bring it up and cross it over that other thigh for that figure four cross. If you can get there, maybe you just hold onto the pants and bring it up there. If it doesn't get there, that's fine. It'll get there eventually. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but we'll work on that range of motion and that opening of that hip. So then we're going to take those hands, one on the knee and one on the foot, and just come into those little torso circles here. So a big feeling here. Exhale as we come forward. Inhale as the torso comes back through center. You should feel a big opening, big sensation on the outside of that hip. So we're just loosening up all that connective tissue, all the muscles. We'll change directions. So there are 35 muscles that attach to the pelvis. So that's a lot of muscles. And all of them need to function properly, and they all need to be working in unison and not one group being tighter than the other. So this is a great way to just kind of get all of them working loose and pliable. Last breath here. Inhale as we come back through center. And we'll take those hands, interlace them underneath that thigh, and lift that thigh off of that leg. And we'll extend that leg forward, flex the foot, pull the toes towards the shin. Big inhale. And as we exhale slowly, as that heel goes down towards the floor. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, lifting that knee to the belly. Pull the belly in. Exhale, press that foot forward. As that foot lowers. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale, press that foot forward. Lower that foot down. And then here's where it's important so that this planted foot is not tucked underneath the chair. We want that nice and stable, that nice column of support. And we'll just lean forward, keep that shin tucked in. Allow that hand to slide down the thigh and get that nice hamstring stretch. Exhale. Inhale, we'll rise up halfway. Get that cat-like or that cow-like feeling. Draw the shoulder blades together. Exhale, soften over that thigh. Hand slides down. Inhale, rise up halfway. And last time, exhale. Allowing that hand to slide down. Maybe spending an extra breath here. And then to rise up, press that hand into the bent thigh, push into the floor. Remember that feeling of squeezing the glutes and pushing into the floor to rise. Use that lower body strength. And then we'll slide that leg in. We'll interlace the hands underneath that other thigh to start with those hip circles on that other leg. So you know your options. You can keep the fingers interlaced behind the thigh. You can bring the hands to the chair. You can bring the hands to the hips and use that belly pulling in. We'll change directions. A few more times in this direction. Last time, and then this foot will end with the outer edge of that foot on the floor next to the other foot, and we'll allow that knee to open up towards the side. So we're allowing gravity to just open up that hip. Maybe take that hand, gently massage it, the flesh of that thigh away from the hip, so away from this midline area down towards the knee, but don't get all the way to the knee. We don't want to put any pressure on the knee there. Maybe you stay here. Maybe that ankle crosses over the other foot. And again, here where this foot that's planted on the floor needs to be a little bit further forward. You can't have it tucked underneath the chair. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you take that ankle and you cross it over the other thigh. We'll keep this foot slightly flexed and allow gravity to open up that hip here. Belly pulls in, nice tall spine. That wooden spoon analogy. We'll take a hand on the ankle and a hand on the thigh or the knee or the shin and just take those little circles here. Inhale as we come through center. Exhale. One more time in that direction. Back through center. We'll change directions. Exhale. Inhale. Last time. Exhale through center. Inhale. Take those fingers and release them behind that thigh to draw that thigh in towards the belly. Nice tall spine, crown of the head reaching high. Inhale. Exhale. Support that thigh and press that foot forward. Press the heel forward. Big stretch of the hamstring. And open the mouth and slowly exhale as that heel comes down to the floor. Inhale, draw that knee up to the belly, pull the belly in. Exhale, long, slow exhale as that heel comes down. One more time, deep breath in. Exhale, press that heel forward, lowering slowly with control. Take the hand on top of the bent knee thigh and slide the other hand down as you exhale. Keep those toes of that extended leg gently pulling towards the shin. You get that nice stretch of the hamstring. Inhale, rise up halfway. Gently squeeze the shoulder blades together. So feel that opening of the chest. And then exhale, hinging forward. One more time, inhale, rising halfway. Keep those glutes squeezing, that bent leg, you should feel that glute active. Exhale, hinging forward. Maybe spending an extra breath here. And then to rise up, press into that thigh of that bent foot, squeeze the glute, push into the floor with that foot. Use that lower body strength to lift you up. We'll slide that knee in. We're going to heel toe those feet out nice and wide for those goddess feet. So if this bothers the knee with the toes pointing out, just keep the feet parallel. We want the butt towards the edge of the seat. You don't want to be too far back. We won't get enough range of motion. We're going to come back into those torso circles with the shoulders. So we'll dip that left shoulder down, bring the chest in. Other shoulder comes down. We'll do this one more time in this direction. Keep that belly pulling in towards the spine. Inhale, and then we'll change directions. Exhale, dipping that right shoulder down, left shoulder down. Inhale through center. Pull the belly in towards the spine the whole time. Right shoulder dips down, chest comes parallel, left shoulder dips down. We'll come back. And then we're going to come into a bit of a forward fold here. We'll bring the forearms down onto the thighs here. So don't lose that feeling of the belly pulling in. Remember that feeling of having the hands behind the glutes and squeezing the glutes and using that tactile cue to pull the belly in towards those hands. So don't lose that feeling, even though the hands are not behind us now. So the belly's pulling in. So we're going to take this left arm and reach it down on the outside of the thigh. And then gazing over that, towards that left arm, just opening up that chest. Lifting that arm not too high. And then bringing it down. One more time. Bringing it up. And then bringing it down. And replace that forearm to the thigh. Extend that right arm to the outside of the thigh. So I'm not moving the arm so much as I am pushing into this thigh with this arm that's on the thigh and opening up the chest. So we're working the chest. This top arm just kind of goes along for the ride, and then we'll bring it back down. So focus on this arm that's on that thigh and push into that thigh, pull the belly in, this arm goes along for the ride. And then bring that arm down. And then we'll walk those hands back up the thighs. And we're gonna come sit here, bring the feet in, back towards center, and we'll take some wrist stretches here, because I forgot to do them at the beginning of the class. But that's okay. So we're gonna take those hands like we were showing the palms to someone in front of us, but the elbows are bent, so the elbows stay at the rib cage. And then we'll take that left hand and bring it across. Take those fingers of that right hand, right where the fingers meet the palm, and just gently stretching them back. And remember to use the thumb on that hand and just gently give you a little bit more stability, a little bit more support, and ability to pull back with those fingers and use that thumb for a little bit of an extra buttress. Keep the elbow at the rib cage and breathe. Deep breath in. Exhale. One more time. Deep breath in. And exhale. And release. We'll circle that wrist. And then take that left hand and bring it to that right forearm, and we'll take that little self-massage. So between the thumb and the fingers, I'm just massaging that forearm up and down a few times. And then we'll switch sides. So we'll take that right hand across the left where the fingers meet the palm. Keep that elbow at the rib cage. And just gently stretching that wrist back towards, or the fingers back towards the body. Remember to breathe a deep breath in. Exhale. One more time, deep breath in. And exhale. Release that hand and circle that wrist. Take that little self-massage. So take between the thumb and the fingers, bring it to the forearm, and just gently squeezing as you work your way up and down the forearm. A nice little way for self-massage. Brings more blood to the area, helps to open up all the tissue, all the fascia, the connective tissue that can get super tight in the forearms. You can even bring that massage technique down into the palms. Feels really nice. I don't think I've ever met anyone who doesn't like their hands massaged, right? Feels really good. Take a moment and just do that on each side. And we'll circle those wrists again. And we're just going to circle the ankles before we come into our standing posture. I hear a little snap, crackle, pop. I know my ankles are cracking. Again, that's normal. That movement helps to bring all the water molecules back into the tissues there to hydrate the fascia, hydrate the joints, so the synovial fluid flowing back in. It's a good thing. So then we'll come into our standing posture. So if you want to try that nose over toes, that same feeling of having those hands on the glutes, squeeze the glutes, pull the belly in, hands to the thighs, and we'll lean forward, bringing the nose over the toes and push into those feet. Squeeze the glutes to lift and rising up into that standing posture. Whew. It's hard work, right? So we'll come behind the chair. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my chair, I'm going to move it sideways so that you can see what I'm doing. And we'll come into the back of the chair. Belly pulls in, tailbone roots down. So those glutes are active. We've talked about those before. Nice tall posture, crown of the head in line with the spine, like you're in a nice tall, erect posture here. Hands on the chair. We'll lift up onto the toes, push into the floor, squeeze the glutes, pull the belly in, really push into that big toe ball mount, and then we'll lower. Inhale as we rise. exhale as we lower. So go at your pace, at your breath, but focus on, as you lift and lower, trying to keep those ankles straight. So trying to keep them lifting straight instead of rolling out to the side. We're really trying to strengthen the ankles here, strengthen the shins, the calves, really strengthening the feet and working on that balance. So we'll just do that a few more times. And this last time we'll pause with the heels up, so really pushing into the floor. Keep that belly pulling in. Take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, we'll lower all the way. And then just bring the toes up. Maybe just the toes come off the floor. Maybe you can lift all the way up onto the heels. So this is working the front of the legs here, the front of the shins. So we're opening up that back line of the body. And maybe just shifting side to side. With those toes pulling up. We're just shifting on those heels. Again, strengthening the ankles, working on that balance. One more time each side. And then we'll release those feet and just shake out the legs. And my shins get burning and oh, you feel it really quickly when you do that, when you're lifting the toes up and you're on the heels. I know I feel it a lot. So then we're gonna bring the right knee up to the chest. So get enough space in between yourself and the chair. And you can always stand to the side of the chair and draw one knee up to the chest, whichever is your preference. I'll do it with standing behind so that you have more opportunity to have more connection to the chair for balance. So bring that knee up to the chest and hold it. Pull in that lower belly, pull, pull, pull. And then we'll lower that leg, but just have it hover. And then open the knee up to the side, just a tiny bit. So I'll show you this way. Draw the knee up to the belly. So we're pulling it in the belly. Left glute is squeezing. And then we'll lower that leg down, just hovering it. And just opening that leg out to the side. We're not tipping in the pelvis here. So it might be just a tiny little movement. We'll do that 2 more times. Bringing it up, down, opening it to the side, a little tiny lift. Last time, bringing it up. You should feel that left glute really starting to kick on and really starting to burn a little bit here. Bringing that knee up. And then we're going to bring this foot down into that little baby tree. So the toes are on the floor. The heel is on the inside of that left ankle. And you can stay here. Maybe bring this left hand to the chest, to the heart in this prayer position. And focus on the balance here. Maybe you want to try to bring that right foot up and just the tips of the toes are on the floor. Maybe slide it up and that foot comes up and you're in this tree position. You have one hand at the chest, the other hand on the chair. Maybe play with that balance. Maybe that other hand comes and meets it. Maybe you have to bring it back a few times. Belly pulls in, working that outer hip, working that glute. One more big breath here, deep breath in. And then open the mouth and exhale. We'll release that foot down. Just shift the weight side to side, opening up both sides. And then we'll work on the other side. So this time we'll bring that left knee up to the chest. But focus on that right foot, press into the big toe side, squeeze the glute on that right side as that left knee comes up to the belly. So we're pulling in the belly to lift this knee up to the chest. And then we'll lower that knee down, have it just hover, and then just open it out to the side, maybe just a teeny tiny bit. Bring it back down through center. Draw the knee up to the belly. Drop it down. Open it up to the side ever so slightly. 2 more times. Draw the knee up to the chest. Lowering it down. Opening up to the side. Last time. Knee up to the chest. Bring it out to the side. And then we'll lower it into that baby tree. So this hip, the standing leg hip, is working hard. You should feel that outer glute, that gluteus medius, working hard to stabilize that pelvis. The glutes are active. Maybe we stay here in this little baby tree. The heel is just on the inside. Bringing that hand to the chest. Other hand on the chair. Maybe you come up to the tippy toes. So the toes, tops of the toes are on the floor. The heel is a little further up the shin. Working on that balance. You can stay here, maybe trying to balance right here. Maybe that foot slides up a little bit more onto the inside of the shin. And we try that balance here. What we want to avoid is pushing into this standing leg hip. We really want to keep that slurped up there, work that glute, work that stability. We're working on that balance on that ankle, the strength on that ankle. We'll take one more big breath here, deep breath in. And then exhale, that foot slides down. And bring the hands back to the chair. Just shake out the legs here just a little bit. And we'll do one more opening of the top body here. So we'll come into our warrior 2 feet. So coming with one foot parallel, and just step the other foot here. So the toes doesn't have to point all the way out. Maybe it's at a 45. And we'll bring the arm, the left arm out, and the right arm is holding the chair. Actually, we're going to change that. We're going to switch hands. Have the left hand on the chair and that right arm out. And as we open up and bend towards the left, we'll just bring that arm up. And then coming back down. So it will look like this. We're holding onto the chair. And just bringing that arm up. We're just opening up that side body. And then back. One more time. Inhale. Just change feet. So we'll take that right foot and just spin it out a little bit. And the left foot is parallel. Right hand stays on the chair. We'll take that left arm open wide. And then just bringing it up overhead. You can keep the elbows soft. Keep the belly pulled in. And back. 2 more times. Exhale. Inhale. Last time. Exhale. Inhale. Back through neutral. We'll take those feet, heel toe them together. And we're going to rise up on the toes one more time, just because you can. Press into those toes, rising up. Belly pulls in, squeeze the glutes. Push into the floor. Think of the crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. One more big breath here. And then exhale, release. And then before we sit back down for our closing, we'll grab that block again if you have it. If you don't have a block, you can just interlace the fingers, like cupping the fingers behind the back. If you have the block, we'll grab the block. This time you really want to squeeze it, really want to grab it. Pull the belly in, root the tailbone down. Draw the chin in towards the throat. We'll do this 2 times. Take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, try to pull that block apart. So it's as if you were trying to go like this and pull the block apart. Feel the collarbone spread, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and release. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Try to pull that block apart. And then release. Whew, that's hard. And then roll those shoulders as we come back around onto our chair for our closing stretches. So we will come back to that chair. Bring those feet into that goddess, those goddess legs. And we'll just take a few torso circles here. So inhale as we come up through center. Exhale. Feel free to add those shoulder dips here if that felt good to you before. Just do this one more time in this direction. And then changing directions. So either that regular torso circle or dipping that shoulder down. Exhale as we come through center. Inhale back. One more time. Exhale. Inhale. back through center. Heel toe those feet together. If you'd like to sit back a little bit further on the chair, that's fine, a little bit more comfortable. Bring those hands through center, hands through prayer. Take a deep breath in. Open the mouth and exhale. Again, like that, deep breath in. Open the mouth and exhale. A few more moments here. Just coming into your breath, into that natural rhythm of the breath, and just noticing. Noticing the body, noticing the breath. Being grateful for the movement that this body gives you, the breath that sustains you. Two more breaths together in unison. Open the mouth, exhale everything out. Close the lips, deep inhale through the nose. Fill the belly, fill the lungs. Open the mouth and exhale. Allow the shoulders to soften. One more time. Close the lips, deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and exhale. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. So much an honor and a pleasure for me to be your guide. Have a lovely rest of the day. Namaste.